Hi, I'm Pastor Len Smith, interim pastor here at Shepherd's Heart Fellowship in Osceola, Indiana. Today we're continuing our series about brethren people who had a brush with greatness. And today we're going to talk about a brethren who won the race and wrote the future. His name was Martin Grove Brumbaugh, born in 1862, and he died in 1930. He was the first brethren educator, the first brethren minister to earn a PhD. He was a professor of education, and he was twice president of Juniata College in central Pennsylvania. Martin Grove Brumbaugh was a writer, an historian, a fisherman, a minister, a school superintendent, both local and state levels. And if that wasn't enough, he was governor of Pennsylvania from 1915 to 1919, and he even received 19 votes for President of the United States at the Republican National Convention of 1916 as a dark horse candidate for the presidency. It was interesting, although he had all these famous accolades, that Brumbaugh was never called to be moderator of the Church of the Brethren, nor did he ever serve as a chair of any of its boards. Yet without question, he was much loved by those who knew him. Brumbaugh worked tirelessly to improve the schools of Pennsylvania. He insisted that physical education and instruction for manual trades be included in the curriculum. Although many of the reforms he promised when he ran for governor were blocked by a recalcitrant legislature, he did push through great reforms in the matter of child labor, and he favored workers' compensation, voting rights for women, and road improvements. Brumbaugh had also served as Puerto Rico's first Minister of Education from 1900 to 1902, and he served as acting president of the Puerto Rican Islands Senate and was active in all aspects of the administration of Puerto Rico. In the eyes of his friends, holding the highest elective office ever attained by a member of the Church of the Brethren may be why he is not more honored. Perhaps Brumbaugh was slighted because as governor of Pennsylvania, he was the titular head of the state militia or National Guard that was called up on the onset of World War I. Some would call him a progressive's progressive in a church where the true divide was still between conservatives and fundamentalists. But ironically, it was his book, written in 1899, History of the German Baptist Brethren, that identified the Brethren as a progressive body during their European and colonial days and set the stage for the Brethren service miracle that may have won both admiration and ire. Cabot Ellis agreed when he wrote, quote, "As the pioneer historian of the church, he revealed to us that the Church of the Brethren was not born of ignorance, but of the refinement of learning as well as devotion, pointing out that the founders of the church came to their convictions on the basis of a thorough study of the Word of God and with the opportunity to profit by the mistakes of others in the earlier Reformation days." Martin Grove Brumbaugh swept aside previous aspirants to the horror of completing his first substantial Brethren history. He wrote this substantial history in a relatively short period, and actual writing took just 6 months. His history was enormously influential both at the time and the ensuing decades, portraying the Brethren in this denomination in America as the first to hold Sunday schools, run a denominational press, as a people who prized religious liberty and shunned as well as shunning. By inventing a past for the Brethren as a progressive denomination in colonial America, Brumbaugh set the stage, at least in part, for Brethren service miracle of the 20th century, with things like Heifer Project, Church World Service, CROP, the Brethren Service Commission in Europe before and during World War II, Brethren Voluntary Service, and much more. All these are the children of his hastily written history that was written in 6 months' time. If you're interested in learning more about the Church of the Brethren, please come to one of our life application classes that meet at 9 a.m. on Sunday mornings, or you're welcome to worship with us here at Shepherd's Heart Fellowship Church of the Brethren at 10 a.m. Have a good day, and remember Martin Grove Brumbaugh.